Lace up your skates, fasten your chin strap, hit the ice, drop the puck. The Johnstown Tomahawks present Hawkey Central. Now here's your host, Troy Roberts. Happy Groundhog Day, everybody, and welcome to Hawkey Central. Got a great show in store for you today, but before we get into the show, Groundhog Day, Punxsutawney Phil this morning saw his shadow, which means that we have 6 more weeks of winter. But we have a lot more weeks of Johnstown Tomahawk hockey. This past weekend, they had a chance to play Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. Came away with 3 points. I know Coach always wants the 4 points. An offensive explosion on Friday night, 6 goals. Coach said that as a buzzer sound, it could have been a 7th. And then on Sunday, stymied just a little bit and had an overtime loss, but nonetheless gained a point. So we're going to talk a little bit about that weekend. Got a great guest on the show again today. And then moving forward, they have an unusual Thursday night game. They have a 3-game set against the Northeast Generals. So they have 6 points possibly on the table to take starting tonight on Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. So if you don't have anything to do, head down to Johnstown, the War Memorial. Watch the Johnstown Tomahawks take on the Northeast Generals. At the end of the show, as always, I'll have Mike Gosnell, the communications manager, on the show to tell you how to get your tickets. But sit back, relax, listen to Coach and I have a conversation about this past weekend's game, and look forward to the upcoming weekend. Always my pleasure to welcome in Coach Letizia from the Johnstown Tomahawks. Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Good to hear from you again.
Well, we had to push our actual recording back. Not that the fans know that because we don't go live, but kind of joking with you before the game, I had an old soccer injury, but I felt like a hockey player this week because I lost my tooth. I had it cracked when I was 13, and so the filling, they haven't crowned it, and they didn't want to crown it when I was younger. So what they did is they kind of putty it up with the filling. And so it's usually about every 7 to 10 years the thing gives. And once on Monday night I took a bite of a chicken sandwich and there it went. So I spent all afternoon yesterday in the dentist office, and I did. I felt like a hockey player for a little bit. I felt like Evander Holyfield went 10 rounds with me. Yeah, I had a nice big hole in my mouth. But, Coach, we're going to talk about your team here in a little bit. But before we do that, I know you and I discussed how much we liked the NHL All-Star Weekend, and that was this past weekend. And I know that we talked before the show. You had a chance to catch a little bit of it. So I want to get your thoughts on, both things, skills competition and then the actual NHL tournament that they play, because I love the tournament. I love watching it. Couldn't take my eyes off the TV when that 3-on-3 was going on.
Yeah, we obviously played Saturday night, so I taped the skills competition. I watched it that night when I got home, and it was fun to watch. We're really creative with the events they put in there. Obviously, back in the old days, they had the staple events with the puck handling, the fastest skater, the hardest shot, accuracy shooting, breakaways. But they really evolved it, taking those staple events and kept the good ones, obviously, or the ones the fans are really into. But they expanded what they do with them. And, I thought the relay race where there was, 5 or 6 pieces for the teams to do was really fun to watch. And, you realize how difficult some of those things are. And to see the way the players were doing it was pretty awesome. And on Sunday, the game, or the tournament, whatever you want to call it, was really fun to watch. It was funny. I think they said it on the air. They said, you could see at the beginning of each mini game, or whatever they're called, the guys were trying to make some pretty plays and things like that. But it was almost as if as soon as one goal went in, that juiced up the competitive nature a little bit for the players and the guys who got down. They started working, and they were back checking and they were trying hard. And the first game, the Pacific took it to the Central pretty good. I mean, Crawford and Dubnik got lit up like Christmas trees in there, but it just kind of shows you the skill of the players, and at the same time, it shows you that even if you have a high-end goalie, a high-end player can make them look silly, or vice versa. A high-end goalie can make a high-end player look average, and that's the funny thing about sports and in general is it's I guess a pitcher against a batter, or a scorer against a goaltender in hockey is they're all paid to do something, and they're all special in that way. So, sometimes you could say, well, how's a goalie letting that many goals? Well, it's because there's world-class scorers, or how is that guy not scoring? Well, there's world-class goalies, so it goes kind of hand in hand. And I know from our standpoint this week, Monday we got back to work, and, we like to try to mix it up in practice and do different things so that they stay stale. Sometimes we do just outside-the-box stuff. We obviously focus on our team play, our individual play. But Monday we had a little fun with the guys. We separated them into 3 teams. A few guys out injured, a few guys on college visits, so we separated them into 3 teams. We were fortunate to be able to set it up where we had a Pennsylvania group. We had a Mid-America group with guys that are from Ohio and Indiana and Illinois. And then we had a team international with our import players, a couple Buffalo guys who we told them that they're basically in Canada, being close to Niagara Falls. And then we had our Ed Herka from D.C. Ed Herka's from D.C., so he said he was, international affairs from where he's from, the area. So we split up into 3 groups, and we pretty much ran the skills competition between the guys, had 5 or 6 events. Took some, obviously, from the All-Star skills competition. Some we didn't have the luxury of the NHL provided accessories, so we had to make do, but we had a lot of fun with that. We also played a little 3-on-3. 3-on-3 actually. We had 3. We were able to let an additional goalie come in and help us out. We had 3 nets on the ice, and we had a lot of fun. But it's funny because the guys are still getting their work, and they're still getting their skating and their puck handling, their shooting. The goalies were getting some pretty quality shots, obviously. So took a little spin on that and made it our own. And the guys really enjoyed it. And it's the dog days, like I talked about before, of the winter, and you wake up and there's 5 inches of snow on the ground. The roads are treacherous, and you're trying to get to practice, and it's cold, and to kind of surprise the guys with having a little fun. I think it set the tone for the week, and our last 2 days of practice have been really strong. So hopefully we carry it over into tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what, Coach? You always throw a wrinkle at me, and something that I can kind of go off the tree trunk with.
I talk a lot. So
but there's always something in there where I'm like, well, yeah, so I'm going to do it because I coached soccer for 14 years, and you mentioned something about playing 3v3v3. Well, I did something similar when I coached soccer, bringing the third goal onto the field also, and so nobody had to sit and watch. So I want to get your thoughts on this. People kind of think of, what the heck are you doing that for? It's actually, you can learn a lot, and you can get a lot accomplished by playing 3v3v3 or 3 groups of teams. Mine were normally 5v5v5, but point is, brought the same people on. When you do those things, Coach, now the players love it. They think it's fun. But as a coach, you are actually doing that to accomplish something. When you run your, 3-team or 3-goal practice session, what are you trying to accomplish in the game of hockey?
Well, for us, we had the net set up, 2 nets in the normal spots, and we had a net along the boards with the red line. And, the way things are now, and obviously with the way USA Hockey is trying to change the development of their players, the young kids, it's all about puck touches. It's all about skill. It's all about getting guys involved. It's all about thinking. It's all about small area skill opportunities. So, a lot of times in our practices we do, a lot of good stuff as far as tactics and technical stuff. But then we play competitive games, whether it's small area, but it's 3-on-3, 2-on-2. Nets may be normal spots. Nets might be cross ice. Nets might be back-to-back. And, in this scenario we did on Monday was, we had 3 teams. Okay, how can we get everybody involved? Each group only had 6 guys, so you're pretty much playing, 3, and then you're off, and you're right back on. So you're getting a lot of reps. But you knew you couldn't score in your own net, but there was 2 other nets you could score on. So number one, you got to think and remember which way you're at. There's the rules are obviously a little bit different because you're going to use the entire ice. There's not really offsides or nothing like that. It just forces our guys to really think and look at different angles of the game, but also focus on their puck management, their skill, getting into open spaces and finding the open men. And again, it turns the ice around a little bit. So you never know when you could be in a unique situation on the ice that isn't scripted, and one of my best coaches I ever had in hockey was a coach in Chicago from Russia. It was, back in 99 and 2000. And in 2000, we won the national championship. He was our coach, and it's kind of funny because he had a really unique style of coaching. It was really high skill-based, really good with puck possession. Our team was very good, very, very good hockey team. A lot of players went on to major, junior, high-end college, NHL, and we were very fortunate, but we were a team that was heavily based upon skill. Our practices, to be honest, were first 6 guys who were ready for practice got to play 3-on-3 with him at one end of the ice, and the rest of the guys were doing skill work with our other coach at the opposite end. Then we would work on different skills throughout practice. Maybe he saw something in an NHL game, just some odd play, where the guy's stick ended up in his other hand, or he had to fall down to his knees and make a play. And we would literally run through drills focusing on that stuff. And at the end of the practice, we'd scrimmage again, it was unique, but he wanted to train our bodies and our minds to do things that could be, unorthodox, where maybe you get knocked down in a game or maybe you fall and, okay, you're on your knees. What are you going to do now? Can you still make a play with the puck? Can you still think? So there's all kinds of different things. And with that team, we had games where, we went into a game knowing, or he went into the game knowing that we were heavily skilled compared to the other team, and we were going to outmatch them. And to be honest, we had games where half of our team would play for the first half of the game, and the other half would be in half their gear, no skates, doing dryland workouts. And then right in the middle of the game, that half would come down, put their skates on, go out and play, and the other half would go do dryland. And it was make it more challenging for us. And then there was games, to be honest, that we played without a goalie. And it would be 6 guys, no goalie. This was a regular game, Bantam Major AAA, pretty, 14, 15 years old, pretty high-level hockey. And, other teams didn't take it the right way because they thought we were being arrogant, but he wasn't doing that at all. He was just trying to teach us about puck possession and make it more challenging and a little bit different. At that point, it probably was a little bit unique to some opposing teams or, even parents that didn't understand it. But it's kind of funny because that was back in 2000, so that's 17 years ago now. But all that stuff that he taught us then and coached us then is very similar to what the USA Hockey model is now. Maybe not playing without a goalie, but the skill and the small games and the game-like situations and the nonstop is getting as many players involved in a practice as you possibly can, as opposed to just one guy going and standing around. So I went way off topic there from your original question, but there's a lot of things that you do with that to get the players to think, to use their skill, to manage the puck, to find open space. And it was really competitive as well. I mean, we got a competitive team. There's no question about that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach. You look at, the things that you're doing, it's working well. I mean, Wilkes-Barre came in this weekend, pretty high-scoring affair the first game, pulled one out, and then, an overtime loss. And, you never want to take a loss. But you did get a point out of it. So, Wilkes-Barre is one of those teams that proximity makes it a natural rival for you. But when you look back on the weekend, one game offensively 6-5, and then you got another game that I guess, in hockey terms, you look at a 3-2 game, more of, I guess you'd call it a defensive type battle. So when you look at the 2 games, what was your overall assessment of the guys this past weekend?
I thought we were okay. We were really good at times. A couple times we got a little sloppy, but Wilkes-Barre plays a unique style. I think I may have talked about it last week. Or they like to run and gun. They just like to just open the game wide up. They'd like to take the puck and just fire it out in the neutral zone and fly their forwards and hopefully catch you in a break. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It can make pucks bounce quite a bit, and pucks take weird bounces, and they find their way. And early on that first period on Friday night, I thought we were, kind of not sluggish, but a little bit unusual for what we've been playing. They were fortunate to get a couple bounces, couple tips, and pucks found their way in. At the end of the first period, it was 3-1. And really, my message to the guys, after the first period, I was upset because I thought we could play better, but I honestly came in and told them, I said, okay, we didn't draw anything up, but that's how we wanted to go. We're down 2 goals. And I frankly told them, I used a line from Rudy. I said, there are bigger tragedies in the world than being we're down 2 goals after the first period. Now you can either pout and make excuses and point fingers, or we can get a little bit, mad, play a little harder, a little hungrier, and do something about it. And credit to those guys, we came out right away. And we tied the game 3-3, I think, within the first 3 or 4 minutes of the period. Really controlled the period. They ended up going up 4-3 just a weird play. They got back up 4-3, and then we made it 4-4 late in the second. So obviously a high-scoring affair, and then they went up 5-4 in the third, and then we got a shorthanded goal, a beautiful shorthanded goal. And then with about 3 minutes left in the power play, we ended up taking the lead, and then there was a empty netter that was scored like right at the buzzer. I think they ended up counting. So it was 7-5. It was one of those character wins that we had to learn about ourselves, that, even if the game isn't going perfectly our way, we're down a little bit, there's always ways to come back if you believe it, and you just got to do it, and you got to realize that everything isn't sometimes as bad as it seems, and, you got to find your own ways to turn it around. And then Saturday, I thought we came out firing. We were ready to go. We managed the puck a lot better. We outplayed them quite a bit. We outchanced them quite a bit. We had the lead. We had a couple opportunities to go up 3-0. I remember we had an empty net from a play that we took a shot, and their defenseman came out of nowhere and blocked it. That could have went 3-0. That was a little bit of a turning point in the game. I mean, not saying that was the be-all, end-all of the game, but, you go up 3-0 there, things look a little bit differently. They ended up getting a power play goal on a questionable call, and it was 2-1. They scored in the third 2-2. We had a lot of chances to obviously take the lead and win the game. And, in OT, we never could really get a good enough possession to get a great chance. And, they came down at 2-on-1, and the guy made a great shot, under the bar. And, one of those things where, you play okay. It's obviously you hate to give up any points, but it's a learning situation for us. And, we had to get back to work and learn from it.
I thought I heard Alex join us. Alex, are you with us?
Yep, I'm with you.
All right, Alex, I'll tell you what, I enjoy having you on the show because I live in Latrobe, and you're from Latrobe, so, it's going to be a great day. And
that's right.
I'm going to ask you a question. Coach and I talked before you joined us. We talked a little bit about the All-Star weekend for the NHL. Did you get a chance to watch it? Do you watch a lot of the NHL? What do you think of the All-Star skills competition? And then what do you think of the 3-on-3 that they play for the game?
The All-Star game's always so crazy because all the players are just unbelievably talented, and it's just some of the stuff they do is just crazy fun to watch. But the skills competition is just, I like when they go out there, mess around, do their thing, and just be the best players in the world and really show it off. And the 3-on-3 really gives every player they have a lot of time, they got a lot of space to do whatever they want, and that's when most players really thrive. It'll be a lot faster. I know the third and final game was a lot faster than the first two because they were competing for $1 million, but it's just, I don't know, I like it. It's a lot of fun to watch the best players in the world go out and do their thing.
Well, Alex, I was talking to Coach before. You're considered a rookie, a young guy here on the Johnstown Tomahawks, a team that is rich in tradition. But being from Latrobe, before you played, and then, becoming part of Johnstown, what does it mean to you to kind of, I guess, call you a local guy, because Johnstown's not that far from Latrobe. What does it mean for you to be part of the Johnstown Tomahawks, being a local kid?
It's really cool. I mean, I remember I would grow up, I'd make the trip out to Johnstown, go see an old Chiefs game, or even last year I was at a couple of the games. I remember last year I was at Game 3 versus New Jersey when Johnstown swept in the first round of playoffs, and it's really cool being able to, even when I'm here, I can go home, run home if I need something. I'm not far from my family, and my family makes it to almost every game. I'm just really grateful to be so close to home.
Yeah, I would imagine that if you have, like you said, and I guess when you're a young kid, Coach, you might laugh. If you need some money, Mom and Dad are right there. Mom and Dad can run it down. They don't have to wire it to you. Just run it down to the game. Right. But Alex, you go in and we talk about the War Memorial. We talk about the history of the Johnstown Tomahawks. When you put that uniform on and you play in the War Memorial as a young player and a newer face to the Tomahawks, how long, I guess I should say it in a good way, how long did it take you to adjust to the fact that, holy cow, this is really a good fan base for junior hockey? How long did it take you to kind of get over the butterflies, as you play games at the War Memorial, or do you still get them?
I mean, every game's a little nerve-wracking, but it's been getting a lot easier. And since we didn't have a home game for the first 3 months or whatever it was of the season, I still didn't get that feeling until maybe 3 months ago. And it's just really cool. I've never been a part of every game I've played in has been parents in the stands and then maybe some spectators or like a few spectators or so. But now when you come here, there's thousands of fans every night. It's crazy. It's a lot of fun being able to go out there and just people you don't know, but they know you and they're supporting you as much as they can.
Yeah, and I'll tell you guys are having a very good year. I talked to Coach about it last week. I talked to Mike Gosnell about it. I'm just feeling something special talking to you guys every week, talking to Coach. I think you guys, Coach, I think you used the term last week, you're setting the table here for the next month, a very important stretch of games. So when you look at it, Alex, as a new guy and you go to practice, you work hard, you're trying to compete for, ice time. When you go to practice, your game, what do you think, you look at your long term, what are the things that you really need to keep preparing for every day you go to practice? Are there some certain things that you're working on that you need to get better and that you want to do better as a player?
Yeah, I go to the rink. I know I need to work on my first couple steps when I skate. I'm a little slow getting off the start, and I know that. I always have been, so I need to really go to the gym and work on that as much as I can, and I just need to become a faster player, which is I really like when my favorite type of player is a player that you can really sit out in the crowd and see, wow, this kid's an amazing skater, or he's super fast. I really like to be able to work on my edges and just become a great skater. But also I know, but this will come with time, making better decisions with the puck. I will get, sometimes I'll try and rush a play that doesn't need to be rushed, or I will make a shot or take a shot when I should have passed, or pass when I should have shot. Just some minor things like that I know will come within the next couple weeks or however long it takes.
So I'm going to tell you this, Alex. Just knowing Coach the little bit of time I've done, for you to make this roster pretty impressive. Coach brings in quality players, quality character guys. So I just asked you what you need to improve on. What do you think are your strong parts of your game?
I really like going out there and just giving it all I got, and just being a real energy guy for the team. Try and generate as much as I can on the ice. I know I'm not the biggest point scorer, but sometimes it's not all that matters. I like to go out there, get dirty in the corners, and really try and grind pucks out, get pucks low to high, get the D shot, stand in front of the net, really in the grimy areas. I mean, I'm a big kid. I like to use my size and down low and really try and generate something for the team.
Well, Alex, the Johnstown Tomahawks junior hockey is all about developing, and I know you're a young guy. Coach was talking to me about that, but when you look at the future, and I know that things change from year to year, game development and different events happen, but when you look at your long-term hockey goal, what is the short-term goal? I know it's the Tomahawks right now and doing the best you can there to help the team win, to help you improve your skills, but what are your short-term goals hockey-wise? Is it playing well enough to take that next step to the college level, or do you have bigger aspirations?
Right now my main focus is to get interest from colleges and within the next year or two, I'd really like to play D1 college or commit to a D1 college here soon, sometime within the next year or two, and just really playing college. That's my main goal. I've never really thought about pro or anything like that, but I guess when I get into college, that is something I would think about if I can.
Certainly. And, like I said, I kind of put you on the spot there, and I apologize for that. I mean, you're a young kid. Your main goal, Coach will tell me, his main goal is to go out and practice today and then play this weekend and get better. So, Coach, I'm going to turn it over to you. Got Alex on the phone. You coach him day in, day out, as I do with every player that joins us on the show. Give me a little rundown of Alex and what he brings to the Tomahawks.
Well, first you can tell, very intelligent kid. I mean, that was a pretty detailed description of what he hopes to improve on and what he feels his strengths are. And outstanding kid as well. I mentioned it before. He's the youngest player on our team. He probably is the youngest player in the league. And this league is a very, very difficult league to be a part of. And any player that is in it, is talented and deserves to be here. And for him to make the jump from U16 into this league was a big jump, but it was a jump that he deserved, and he showed that he was capable of doing. And coming into this, he has learning curve as everybody else does in the beginning of the season, and as the season progressed, through November, December. But there's a lot of natural ability that Alex has, and as he mentioned, he's a good-sized kid. He's got that. He does skate well. He's got a big frame to him, but he moves up and down the ice well. Obviously, always wants to improve where he can. He's got a really good shot. He can get the puck off the stick pretty quickly to the net. But he's really come around, and just at a turn of the year, it's amazing what happens with kids. And he's a young guy, like I said. I mean, he's very young, but at turn of the year and the whole month of January, I thought he really took a step in his development. And that's what you hope to see. And when we scout kids, and Coach Nick always talks about it. I see a guy in September, but what is he like in December? When he's scouting midget AAA or high school or whatever the case may be. And the same can be said about a young kid like Alex. Where is he at in the beginning? Where is he at in the mid-season? And he's really made some major strides just in these last few weeks to a month that we really were excited about. His composure with the puck improved, his decision making improved. He always worked hard, but I think he brought it to a new level, a more of a competing level. And maybe it comes along with confidence with the puck, that he's able to make those plays while competing and keeping his feet moving and thinking a little bit more. And as he mentioned before, and it's something we talk about all the time, is, he said, maybe my numbers aren't eye-popping. And you know what? They can be. He has the full capabilities of putting up numbers in this league as it comes. But he made a great point. He said there's more to it than just that. And I think, his focus of saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to go out there at every shift. I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to do what I can to help the team. I'm going to compete. I'm going to do all the little things. And it made him successful. And his line was producing this weekend. They were scoring in each game. And, it's one of those things where they were generating. They were generating zone time. They were defending well on our own end. They were doing a lot of little things very well and producing to help our team. And, it was really exciting. It was really exciting. And credit to him, because he's put the work in practice. He's done the extra. Even in a couple games, if he wasn't in the lineup for whatever reason, he's on the bike, making sure that he's staying ready. He's watching the game closely, and to his credit, he deserves his opportunities, and I look forward to seeing him continue to grow as a player, because I think there's a heck of a lot of potential for him moving forward.
Well, Coach, you mentioned he's one of the younger players on the team, possibly in the league. And when you look at the future with Johnstown, I mean, this has to be, for those fans that are listening out there and what junior hockey is all about, Alex would kind of be the example of what junior hockey is. Bring in a young kid, let him develop for a few years, and see what his hockey future holds. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the other thing I forgot to mention is, he's a full-time high school student, full-time still in school, and he's fortunate that he's able to do correspondence with Latrobe, and things like that. But he's a full-time student, and that's not an easy task when you have to be at the rink for, however many hours we have the guys during the day, throughout the week for practice and workouts and video and talk and whatever, community appearances, whatever the case may be. But then to handle your whole high school load, it's not an easy task, and give him a lot of credit because it's not too easy. But he's got great grades, and like I said, his hockey is projecting nicely.
Wonderful. So, Alex, I'm going to get you back on the line. And Coach knows I always ask a fun question here at the end. So, you're playing hockey, and a couple of things. You can only pick one. Now, while you're playing, would you prefer to have a breakaway and score 5-hole? Would you rather have a bone-jarring check on the boards, or would you rather score with a ferocious one-timer? You can only pick one. What does Alex prefer?
Oh, I don't know.
There's no right or wrong answer. We just want to have a little bit of fun.
5-hole goals are always nice with the Troy Terry, that whole deal of scoring 5-hole 5 times or whatever it was. But a big hit, that's always nice to have and stuff, but it'll generate a lot of energy and stuff, but that doesn't put anything on the scoreboard. So I think I'd go a nice Alex Ovechkin one-timer from the left wall.
Nice. So, Coach, there you go. That's what Alex wants. He wants those one-timers. So
he wants those OV one-timers.
Yeah, those OV one-timers. So I'll tell you what, guys, it's always a pleasure, Coach. I always enjoy talking to you every week. Alex, a Latrobe guy. So, I've actually got to have fun talking to a Latrobe guy. But I wish you guys the best of luck this weekend, and always a pleasure to have you on the show, Coach. Alex, thanks for joining me today.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Troy.
Always great pleasure to welcome in Mike Gosnell, Communications Manager of the Johnstown Tomahawks. Mike, another good weekend for the team. A couple of points. I know they would have liked to get a win on Sunday instead of an overtime loss, but nonetheless, a couple points this weekend against a good Wilkes-Barre team. Just talked to Coach a little bit about that and talked with Alex. But how was your weekend?
Good. Whenever you can get 3 out of 4, I'm sure it's a good weekend. You always want to get those 4, but, want to get all 6 this weekend against Northeast.
Yeah, it'll be a good weekend. So Mike, I got to follow suit with Alex and Coach. NHL All-Star Weekend. Did you get a chance to watch any of it? I know you weren't like the biggest guy on the NHL All-Star Game, but did you catch any of the festivities this weekend for the NHL All-Star Game?
Bits and pieces, but I did not watch most of the game.
Yeah, see, unlike Coach and myself and Alex, we were glued to the TV watching the 3-on-3 tournament. And Coach even put some of it in practice this week. But I know, Mike, that we're in a stretch of a lot of home games for Johnstown right now. So we'll cut right to the chase. What do we got coming up for the fans? What can they look forward to here in the next month?
Well, we have 3 games coming up starting tomorrow. It's an odd day to have a hockey game Thursday, but we have one 7 p.m. We have a lot of good promotions coming up. February 17th, we're going to have former Penguins 50-goal scorer and Penguins Hall of Famer Pierre LaRouche drop the first puck, and it's also our Red Out night. We're teaming with Healthcare First Credit Union to Red Out. The War Memorial fans are encouraged to wear red in support of the American Heart Association. February is Heart Health Month. So we've been doing this for this will be our 4th year doing it. Always a good promotion. Then, of course, we have the 2 big promotions on February 24th. We're having the Voice finalist Josh Gallagher come to the game. He'll perform during the game, sing the national anthem, sign some autographs. And then Saturday, February 25th, is the Slapshot 40th anniversary Heritage Night. The Hanson brothers, numerous characters from the movie will be in attendance at the game. Hanson brothers also have something going on separately, so if you want more information on the celebrity hockey game and all the Hanson brothers news, go to SteveCarlsonHockey.net.
A lot of good stuff coming up. Now, are fans encouraged to dress like the movie Slapshot on that night?
If they want to. I mean, we are having a 70s night this Saturday, so we're encouraging bell-bottoms and all 70s fashion. But if they want to dress up like their favorite Slapshot player, then more than welcome to.
Now, see, the 70s thing, Mike, people always say I'm old. My kids call me old. I grew up in the 70s. I was born in 1970. The bell-bottoms I used to wear when I was a kid certainly aren't going to fit me now. But I'm sure I could go to like a secondhand store and maybe find a pair. But so it is an odd Thursday game. Not many of those happen. You know, what's the reasoning for a Thursday night game? Is it just a way to get a 3-game series in, or is there a madness to a Thursday night game?
You know, it's probably a quirk in the schedule. I'm not sure the reasoning behind it, but we're having the Chamber of Commerce, Johnstown Chamber of Commerce. They're partnering us for a BOGO night for chamber members. So I think it's just a good way to spend a Thursday night, and it's a Groundhog Day as well. So who knows what Punxsutawney Phil's going to see, if he's going to see his shadow or not. Hopefully we'll not have 6 more weeks to winter, and what better way to celebrate Groundhog Day than that Tomahawks game?
Yeah, it is. Well, and the thing with that, Mike, is have we really had, if we're going to have 6 more weeks, do you count all these warm days in the middle as winter days? I mean, I don't know. This weather's been so crazy. It's been crazy. It's you know, even today is not terribly bad, at least not up in Latrobe. I mean, it was precipitating a little bit before, but it's not that freezing cold weather that we're so used to. So let the fans know how they can get their tickets, Mike. Like you said, we got a lot of great things coming up. How do they get tickets for the game?
They can call the War Memorial box office, they can call Ticketmaster at 1-800-745-3000. Stop by the War Memorial box office Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And they can also order online via Ticketmaster.com.
All right, so it's a big weekend series this week against Northeast. I know Northeast is not having probably the year they wanted to have as the expansion team in the division. It's a good opportunity, but they still play tough. It's going to be a great series, Mike, and hopefully the boys can come away with all the points on the table and really help solidify that playoff seeding. You have anything else for the fans today?
Just hope to see everybody out this weekend and go Hawks.
Yeah, especially tomorrow night, a Thursday night game. Probably not, like you said, it's not a normal night for hockey, but, if you have nothing else to do on a Thursday night, head on down to the War Memorial, check out the Johnstown Tomahawks, and you and I will get together next week, Mike.
Sounds good, Troy. Thank you very much.
All right, have a good night.
Well, the music has started, the horn has sounded. That means another episode of Hockey Central is in the books. As always, I want to thank Coach Mike Letizia for joining me on the show today, along with player Alex Singley, a local Latrobe guy. Got to root for him. And then, of course, Mike Gosnell, communications manager. Again, an awkward, maybe Thursday night game for the Johnstown Tomahawks. Head down to the War Memorial and catch the Hawks in action. Have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you next week.